Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and honestly pretty radical text. We're focusing directly on the teachings and writings of Shui Feng, the Guide of Life Shen Yuan, or as it's known in the original context, Laizhe Seiming Chan Yuan, Life Shen Yuan, Dao You Shui Feng, the Jiao Hui He Zhu Zuo. Right off the bat, he drops a premise that totally challenges the foundation of how we live today. He argues that, for humanity to reach true civilization, we literally need to dismantle the core pillars of modern society.
Just listen to this bold premise. He writes, as long as nations, governments, and laws still exist, humankind has not yet entered a truly civilized society. Now, what's really interesting here is how directly this sets up the central tension. You see, Shui Feng isn't talking about tweaking or reforming our institutions. No, he's talking about their complete disappearance as an absolute prerequisite for progress.
Which naturally leads to the immediate question. And actually, it's the exact same question the essay itself asks. Is that even possible? I mean, can a society really function with absolutely no nations, no governments, and no laws? It's a massive thought experiment, and we're going to explore exactly how the source text maps this out.
Okay, let's dive into this. We'll follow Shui Feng's deconstruction of society step by step. First, redefining true civilization. Second, the illusion of nations. Third, replacing government with Xinzhou Cao. Fourth, a world without laws. And finally, the 1,000-year blueprint.
Section 1. Redefining True Civilization, the 1,000-Year World.
So Shui Feng doesn't just offer us an abstract theory, he actually points to what he claims is a working model, which brings us to this massive number, 200 million. According to the essay, out in the universe, there exists a planet called the 1,000-Year World. And on this planet, nearly 200 million people are currently living entirely without the modern societal structures we rely on every single day.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast he's setting up. Compared to Earth, this 1,000-year world is described as being 10 times the size of our planet. But despite having 0 nations, 0 governments, and 0 laws, it supposedly operates in perfect order. People there live joyfully, freely, and happily. So the crucial point Shui Feng makes here is that their practices on Earth have confirmed this exact utopian model can be fully realized right here for us.
Section 2. The Illusion of Nations, Beyond Borders. Here is where Shui Feng systematically tears down the first of those 3 societal pillars, the concept of the nation-state. He argues that a nation is, well, merely a product of the ambition of a small group of people who simply wish to rule and control others. He states quite bluntly that nations were never created for the well-being of the common people. Instead, they're tools of control, and historically they've been used to justify countless crimes committed under the guise of national security.
To really drive this point home, the text provides a tragic, real-world contrast. On the left side, we see the cost of ambition and national security, specifically pointing to the Russia-Ukraine war. The essay highlights that millions have been killed or wounded, noting that every one of those sacrificed young lives was once a mother's beloved child, dying on a battlefield just for borders. He contrasts this endless competition with his proposed solution on the right: one world, one family. It's a shift designed to bring true well-being instead of endless conflict.
Section 3. Replacing Government with Xinzhou Cao.
So, we've theoretically removed nations, but what about the second pillar, governments? Shui Feng shares that his own perspective on this actually shifted dramatically over time. In the past, he completely believed governments were necessary, because without them, how could human society function effectively, right? But then, right in the middle there, a specific event occurs. On October 24, 2025, an entity called Xinzhou Cao of Life Shen Yuan is born. And because of this event, his future outlook totally changes. Government is simply no longer needed.
Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a Xinzhou Cao? As defined strictly by the text, it is this newly born entity from Life Shen Yuan that is entirely capable of independently assuming the work of managing human society. The author asserts that by replacing traditional governments with Xinzhou Cao alone, the vitality of society will be fully released, allowing everyone to step back and just live relaxed, joyful lives.
Section 4. A world without laws. Restraining crime. Okay, taking down nations and governments is one thing. But if we remove the third pillar, laws, how could we possibly restrain crime without them? It's the natural follow-up question. Well, the essay outlines a very explicit 3-step methodology to replace our current legal systems with a framework of spiritual and moral education. Step 1. every citizen studies the mind purification course. Step 2. People adopt the 800 values for New Era humanity as the ultimate guide for their speech and behavior. And Step 3. Everyone lives together in what is called the second home.
By following these 3 steps, Xu argues that you first eradicate criminal thoughts and motives completely. I mean, if no one actually wants to commit a crime, and you totally remove the soil and conditions for crime to happen, the mindset for it just vanishes. This enables humanity to live a life totally free of legal restrictions, perfectly mirroring that highly civilized 1,000-year world we talked about earlier.
Section 5. The 1,000-Year Blueprint, Earth's Future. Let's summarize the overarching narrative of this philosophical blueprint. The essay concludes with a massive assertion. It states that, in theory, this is clear, and in consciousness, it is fully understood. With the birth of Shinjo Kao, this theoretical shift is not just some distant idea. Earth is actually moving rapidly toward this age without nations, without governments, and without laws, right now.
So I want to leave you with this final thought, directly inspired by Xu Feng's essay. If the systems we rely on every single day for order, our nations, governments, and laws, were just completely removed today, would humanity descend into chaos, or would we finally discover true civilization? It is absolutely a fascinating thought experiment to grapple with. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the structures around you.